Howdy, folks. I'm Biting Birch, bitterly barking about boisterous beanie babies.
I'm Amber.
And here are more boisterous beanie babies for us to bark about. And that's right, folks. They're coming to life, and they're coming for your skin if you were a tree. So I would be terrified if you were a tree. Let's get started. All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, I mistakenly called the cops on a 27-year-old female boyfriend, a 29-year-old male, when he had planned a surprise proposal. Now things between us are strained. Am I able to fix this? We have been together for 7 years, and we moved in together after 2 weeks. We adopted a dog and a couple of cats, opened a joint bank account, met each other's families, merged our friends into our tribe. This has been really good for years. I'm happy. I am not one of those people that need to be married. I don't need a ring, a ceremony, a piece of paper to commit my life to one person that I love beyond all others. I am his wholly and completely. That isn't to say that I'm against marriage, because I'm not, but getting a ring on my finger is not a priority for me. When I have thought about it, I imagine a small wedding with our parents, maybe our siblings, and the officiant. Barefoot on the beach, no fuss, nothing elaborate, something simple that we could throw together ourselves. Then off to a place that we could relax, eat, and drink without the formalities. If I had a dream wedding, that would be it, or something similar. Back in July, my boyfriend was acting all cagey. I knew that he was up to something and trying to hide it. He is no good at trying to keep something under wraps. He's one of those people that even though they don't say anything, they act like they have a secret. I wasn't worried about his secret because I knew that he would tell me eventually. I was thinking that he was going to surprise me with a weekend getaway because I had been working long hours for a couple of months, and that's the kind of thing that he does. Well, one night I arrived home from work and his car wasn't in the driveway. The house was dark and the front door was wide open. I sat in the street watching the house for a couple of minutes. There was no movement, no lights in the window, nothing. I called my boyfriend 4 times, no answer. That wasn't like him. 1 missed call, sure. 4 missed calls, no. So I called the cops. I was still on the phone with the emergency services when they arrived. They came over to me, I gave them a rundown of what I knew, which was nothing, and they went into the house. A few minutes later, one of them came out and asked me to go in with them. They led me through the house to the back patio. I had flipped on the lights as I entered, and I saw a trail of rose petals that took us out back, where my boyfriend was wearing a tux and handcuffs and was sitting at our patio table with a beautifully set dinner. It goes without saying that the surprise was a proposal that I ruined. It has been about 7 weeks since. Things are not good between us. It was a simple misunderstanding on my part. My boyfriend thinks that I called the cops because I knew that he was going to propose. He thinks that I don't want to marry him, but instead of saying that, I found a way to make sure that I wouldn't have to. We have discussed us getting married exactly once, and that was in our 4 years of being together. I remember the conversation word for word because it was only a handful of words. Him, would you wear my ring? Me, yeah. Him, when? Me, surprise me. That was the extent of our discussion about marriage. I don't know how I was supposed to even know that he was going to ask me 5 weeks ago from a weird conversation that we had 6 years ago. I know I hurt him and I've apologized for it. He refuses to see how I came about to call the cops. He went to his parents that night because he was upset. Then came home an hour later because they thought that it was hilarious. Everyone he tells thinks that it's funny. He is the one telling people. Before this post, I had not said anything to anyone because I know it upsets him. I don't know what else to do. He doesn't believe me that it was a huge misunderstanding. Am I missing something? Did I break trust or harm him in some way that I'm just not getting? How do I approach this so that I can fix it? At this point, I'm thinking of proposing to him so that we can move on from this. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, I don't think Opie did anything wrong here. I mean, he has to understand that coming home to a dark house that's open and like partner's car is not in the driveway, like if he's not the one who left the door open, who did? And it's a very scary idea to see a dark house and think about going in there knowing who knows who was in there.
I think the dark house was a big mistake,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that he should have turned on some lights, maybe even some colored lights or something like that, pink or something, who knows, in order to like lead her to see the trail of roses or something like that. That way she would have realized that something was going on here, right?
Well, and why move his car too? Like,
Yeah.
why did he have to have it so she didn't know he was home?
Yeah. So I think that it was just a really big mistake on his part to set it up so that it looked like the house was robbed.
Because, like, that would be my natural reaction seeing the house like that. Like, would be to think someone has broken into my house, and like I would want like. Then she tried to call him first. She didn't go straight to the police.
Yeah, yeah.
Why didn't he answer and be like, "Oh yeah, like just go in, turn on the lights or something like
I
that"?
mean, he could have even just said, "Oh, I was in a rush. I accidentally left the door open."
Yeah, there's any number of things he could have done, but instead he just let her to figure it out on her own.
Yeah. I mean, really, honestly, he could have just said something to the effect of, "Oh, I ran to the store real quick. I must have just forgotten to close the door on my way out," right?
Mm-hmm.
And that would have given her assuaged all of her fears and worries. And he could have been like, "Oh, I'll be back in just a minute. Go on into the back," or something like that.
And I just feel like he's taking this way too hard
Yeah.
because, like, I mean, I understand it was upsetting that his proposal was ruined, but this is one of those stories where, I mean, everyone finds it hilarious.
It
would
is
be,
hilarious.
It would be like the perfect proposal story. Like, honestly, he should have just like finished the proposal in handcuffs.
Yeah. I honestly think that he should have just rolled with it.
And so he may need some. They may need some couples therapy if he feels like she's not really committed to the relationship as much as he is.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it seems like this brought up some deep-seated insecurities he has around her not needing marriage in the same way he does.
Yeah.
And but it's going to be on him to fix it. Like, Opie's already apologized. It clearly was a mistake, and about all she can do is like talk it out with a third-party mediator.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's about all that they can do at this point in time. I mean, OP could propose to him,
I mean, yeah, that too, if she thinks it would help.
but I mean, I don't know. I think that he's just upset that his proposal got ruined, and it was by largely his own fault that it got ruined.
Yeah, well, I hope that he can come around and see the humor in this, because this would be one of those stories where, like, you know, if you have kids, it would be with, the perfect proposal story to tell them. Like, everyone is going to think this is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's just ask what the wheel has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment OP's earned. A misguided hero. I mean, it still kind of works, right? Just a little bit. I mean, they kind of saved the house from being robbed.
Yeah.
I think that's the way the wheel has to communicate with us. And Hats and Topcoat says, "Why in the world did he leave the front door open?" And Opie replies, "He thought that I would see the rose petals when I approached. It didn't occur to him that I would find a dark house with a door wide open worrying." Again, like some little accent lights and stuff like that could have taken care of this whole situation, right? And Befuddled Polydactyl says, "Good grief, who wouldn't? Is he one of those people who aren't particularly dumb, but have absolutely no common sense? Night, dark house, no answer phone calls, door open equals normal to him? I too would have called the police." And Opie replies, "I wouldn't say that he has no common sense. He's more of the oblivious, had a good chance of going right over his head type." And Non-Woke Boomer says, "Not the brightest bulb in the house, even with all the lights out. Are you sure this is the one?" And Opie replies, "This shouldn't have made me laugh, but the whole situation makes me laugh. On the inside, it's not a good idea to laugh about it out loud right now, though." Alright, folks, and our next letter is titled, "Will I be the jerk if I bring a friend to a supper instead of my fiance after repeatedly telling my mom to address my fiance as my fiance? I'm a 21-year-old female, and I've been engaged to my fiance, a 24-year-old male. We'll call him Ash, for about 6 months. We announced it to my parents right after the engagement. For some context, from a French-speaking family, he's from an English-speaking family. Since the engagement, she has never once referred to him as my fiancé, only as my boyfriend. I have had numerous talks with her and have even asked her to at least compromise in calling my partner instead of boyfriend. Now I understand that not everyone makes the difference between boyfriend and fiance when speaking, but to me it's an important step in my life and I would like for it to be acknowledged and respected, which is what I told my mom. Well, after 6 months, she still hasn't referred to him as fiance or partner. So I started talking to one of my male friends about it. We'll call him Michael. And as we were joking around, we kind of came to the same conclusion. I told myself if my mom refers to Ash as my boyfriend again, I would, in fact, bring a boyfriend the next time she asks for us to come to supper. Michael was absolutely down with the plan and thought that it was hilarious. So was my fiance. So Reddit, will I be the jerk if next time my mom asks me and my boyfriend are coming over for supper, I bring my friend Michael along and make her believe he's in fact my boyfriend? Edit, clarifying some info. I believe that I would be the jerk if I did go through with the plan, which is originally why I have a post about it. The question that I'm still left wondering is why? Why does she do it? 2, my family is French Canadian. While here, the term chum is often used to describe boyfriend, fiance, husband, it is not the case for my mom, who has many times used the distinction in French towards other family members. 3, yes, she likes my fiance. She has told multiple times that she likes him, and she's happy that we're happy. She also has invited him on family trips in the past. 4, to me, it's not just a word. To me, it's an achievement. The best way that I could define it is, if someone gets their doctorate and becomes a surgeon, but their mom never acknowledges that they are in fact a doctor and keeps calling them a student or calls them a nurse or something like that. Like, technically no one is dying, but it's still an achievement in life and something worth mentioning. Of course, I don't want my mom solely saying your fiance. She has the option between fiance, partner, Ash, significant other, just not chum or boyfriend. And I don't care for slip-ups as long as they're not constant and disrespectful. 5, there are a lot of people in my family who are married, my mom's parents, 4 of my cousins, most of my uncles and aunts. I would say that non-married couples are over 22 are actually a minority in the family. And 6, she doesn't have any problems with English speakers. She is required to speak English and French for her job, and has English-speaking friends, some of which don't speak a word of French. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, I don't think Opie's in the wrong for it, but I also don't necessarily know if that's the best tactic. I think maybe skipping the dinner entirely, telling your mom that until she is willing to start using an appropriate term, you're not going to be showing up at functions or something like that.
I think sitting down with her mom and having an adult conversation and trying to get to the bottom of why she doesn't want to call him the fiance would be a good idea. And I think that there's probably some part of it where OP may be like their youngest daughter, or they may be, they feel like just unable to recognize that their, little girl is all grown up, and they're maybe even terrified of the next steps, right? And so this might just be kind of a way for her to distance herself from the idea that her daughter is in fact an adult who is, going to be starting their own, family life potentially here soon.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Opie's tried to talk to her mom, and the mom hasn't been very receptive, and it's just been like, oh, yeah, I'll do better next time.
Mm.
So, like, yeah, they could try again to have a sit down, but I don't know if that's going to work because it doesn't seem like it's worked before.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think that OP, if they really want to go through with this plan, I don't know that it's going to come out the way that they expect it to. I don't think that it's going to change how OP's mom refers to her fiance. I mean, maybe it'll come across as a funny joke. And if OP thinks that their mom will laugh about it and just be like, okay, haha, I get the point, then maybe it's worth it. But if her mom is going to be offended by it or is going to, not appreciate it and isn't going to laugh about it, then it probably isn't the best thing to do here. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our last letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Marrying a Man Who Proposed to Me While I Was on the Toilet? It's not as bad as it sounds. My friends are just obsessed with that part, I think. Fake names: I'm a 32-year-old female and my fiance Peter is a 30-year-old male and had arranged a candlelight dinner in a hotel room. There were flowers, rose petals, and music. There was my favorite dinner and my favorite dessert. Peter was in a tuxedo, I was wearing a dress, and everything was so amazing. While I was eating, my IBS started acting up. I ran to the bathroom. It was mortifying, but at least I was comfortable enough with Peter to allow him to come in. I was apologizing for ruining the evening while I was on the toilet, and he said it was okay. I felt like he wanted to ask me to marry him the whole evening. I told him that I loved him, and he said that I love you too. I told him that I'm sure you'll take care of me in sickness and in health. That comment made Peter smile. He got down on one knee. I didn't care that this was the situation. I was so happy that I said yes. I felt like he wouldn't have asked that evening if I didn't say in the sickness and health comment. I told my best friend Kate, a 33-year-old female, and another friend Bailey, a 33-year-old female. I told them the truth. Kate says that it's weird, creepy, and a jerk move on his part. I explained that he would likely have put it off if I didn't say the in health comment. Kate said that I was desperate and that I should have had some respect for myself. Bailey said that if I thought that Peter would ask another time, that I should have just let him bring it up another time. Before talking to them, I thought that I had the sweetest proposal story. Now I feel like the jerk who has caused an amazing fiancé to have a terrible story. Am I the jerk here? Update and some further context. The proposal happened on Saturday, and I have been holding off on telling my parents and Peter's parents. Both sets of parents live in different states. Tonight, we told my parents, first via video chat. My parents are Bob, a 58-year-old male, and Susan, a 58-year-old female. My mom is a massive fan of romance, and I knew that she would ask about the proposal. Peter and I told my parents the whole proposal story. My mom was over the moon. She said that proposing like that is better than any idea she had. My dad said it just proves the love that Peter has for me. My mom asked if she can tell others, and I said sure. I had asked my mom to be the maid of honor after getting engaged. My pick for maid of honor was either going to be Kate or my mom. I didn't pick my mom to spite Kate. I'm not punishing Kate. Kate's initial reaction to the proposal story would have just made her being the maid of honor awkward. Plus, my mom is so happy with our union, and she would love to plan a wedding. Then we told Peter's parents via video chat. His parents are Chuck, a 55-year-old male, and Linda, a 59-year-old female. His parents really appreciate the comedy. Chuck thanked us for giving them the gift of telling them that amazing story, if we're comfortable with that. I told them that we're confused. Linda said that she's so happy for us. Peter told his father that he wants him to be the best man. Lastly, we told Peter's sister Juliana, a 27-year-old female, via video chat, as she lives in another state. She had her father's sense of humor. I hope that Kate and Bailey will be bridesmaids. Yes, Kate and Bailey are single. I have been best friends with Kate since 9th grade, so this little disagreement wouldn't ruin our friendship. Further update. Kate and Bailey both agreed to be bridesmaids when I asked them via Messenger. Kate apologized via message, and she also sent me a video of her apologizing. Kate said that she appreciates that I'm still letting her be a key part of the wedding. She said that after several days of thinking about the proposal, she realizes how loving it was. She says that if she had IBS, she would appreciate a guy who treats her like how Peter treats me. Bailey apologized via message. Her apology was brief, and she admitted in it that Kate told her to apologize. Alright folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. I mean, I think it's a funny story and it has a lot of sentimental value for OP and her partner. Now, this wasn't like a random OP's sitting on the toilet, partner busts in with a ring. Like, that would have been one thing, but he had planned a romantic dinner exactly to OP's specifications, and then her health decided to intervene, and both didn't let that get in the way of their plans, and so I think it's a nice, touching gesture in OP's mind and her partner's mind, and that's what matters.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that it's going to be a sentimental story that they can, tell people, and I don't think that anyone really is going to judge them harshly for this. I think that, again, it was a planned evening. He was likely going to propose to her that evening anyways, and I think that that is probably what triggered it more than anything, right? And that he wanted her to know that she didn't ruin the evening, and that her, intestinal issues aren't a burden on him, and they aren't going to interfere with their plans or their life. And so I think that it did have a very sentimental meaning to it that he was able to, integrate into the proposal. So I don't think that OP's in the wrong at all. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What is the most important rule in zebra baseball?
Well, I think the most important rule in zebra baseball is for you to keep your eye on the ball. I mean, it's just like regular ball, except for with zebras, I imagine. And so that's my final answer. Keep your eye on the ball.
3 stripes and you're out.
So they're not really zebras then, because like zebras have a lot more than 3 stripes. That's how I am interpreting this. They're just horses who are horsing around pretending that they're zebras. And I have Mega Mint. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday, folks. I hope your Monday is off to a great start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on proposals.
Sometimes proposals won't go as planned, but if you can roll with the punches, it may still be a spectacular night.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!